With the release of Obsidian's newest RPG, Avowed, I wanted to give you guys a quick first impressions video. If it's not already obvious, I don't get review codes. Because of this, it makes it hard to get reviews out to you right when the game releases. Today, I want to give those of you on the fence a little bit of insight into what the first 20 hours of Avowed looks like. Once I've completed the game, I will of course make a much more in-depth review that will focus more on whether Avowed is worth your hard-earned money and time. So make sure to look out for that in the coming weeks, but hopefully sooner. Who knows? I may come out of this game with a totally different opinion than the one I have today, but I won't waste any more of your time. Let's get into it. I went into this game with high expectations. I heard good things about Avowed up to its release and was really looking forward to it. However, when I first opened the game, I was a bit disappointed in some of the initial presentations. I felt that the character customization was a bit lacking. There aren't many choices to choose from and a lot of the features are just not great. My guy ended up looking like fucking Nikola Tesla, and even then he's like the bootleg version of him. I was and am also still upset by the optimization and how this game runs in general. It's pretty damn choppy, and unless you have your graphics set to all epic and high, you can't even see the water without it looking like a carpet. Running at higher settings is definitely gonna make your game run worse, but to be honest, it doesn't run great even on the lower settings. This game is visually appealing and looks really good sometimes, but it doesn't look good enough to run this bad. On top of that, I've also ran into a couple visual bugs. At one point I was running through walls. That's not really optimal, gotta say. As for the story, I haven't completed it yet, obviously. I think as the story stands right now, it's interesting, but it hasn't really grabbed me. There was a random dick joke from Kai, so there's that.
Got a few inches to spare if she changes her mind.
There's a particular instance in the second location where the writing and the story get really slow and kind of boring, and even the companions acknowledge it. They yawn and doze out of the conversation, and it only reminds me that, yeah, this is boring. But for all of its problems, I do like the game, and there's aspects that I really enjoy, like the exploration and scale. Everything feels really condensed. You're never running for more than 600 meters. The map also looks so much bigger than it actually is. But the best part is that you can go anywhere on the map. If you see it, you can go there. I believe there's 4 or 5 total locations, but I've only been to 2. With that being said, the first location, Dawnshore, is my favorite out of the 2 by a landslide. It sets a tone immediately for the game. It's bright and vibrant and feels inspired. It's a great starter location to set the tone. The second location I've been to is Emerald Stair, which in my opinion pales in comparison. It's not as visually appealing or interesting. I will say though that the cities in this game, regardless of location, are pretty much dead. It doesn't have the density that you would expect out of a town, especially in 2025. One of the most appealing aspects of this game outside of exploration is its builds and its combat. This game allows you to experiment with a lot of different builds. You can really do whatever the hell you want. The game features a 2 loadout system. I personally like to use dual wield and then switch mid-combat to a spellbook and wand. But the beauty of it though is that you can play however you want. I have 2 friends. I have more than 2 friends, but the ones playing are doing a widely different build from me and each other. You can be a standard knight, or a wizard, or somewhere in between where you're both. It's all up to you. It's not a flawless combat system though. The actual fighting isn't perfect. It can feel jank at times, but it's still satisfying regardless. Overall, I think that within the first 20 hours, the game is good. Like every game, there are bound to be problems, but I think so far the good outweighs the bad. Ultimately, the decision on whether you want to buy this game or not is up to you. Obviously, my opinion is subject to change, but this video is more so just to show you the honest truth of what you'll be getting into. If you want more honest reviews and gaming retrospectives, subscribe. I constantly want to make the very best for all of you, while also being completely honest with my opinions. At the end of the day, you're giving me your time, and I don't want to waste it. So thank you, and please stay tuned for the full review.